Hello everyone, I'm Sean Almeida, CEO of Vestor.Estate. Today I want to provide some tips for people looking to be real estate investors in Kyiv. One of the first things you need to know if you're looking to buy in residential property for investment is you need to know who the tenant is before you buy the property. You might not know the exact person obviously, but you need to know the profile of the person in general. For example, if you're looking for certain embassy personnel because the embassy is nearby, you need to know what the budgets are of that embassy. Also depending on family size. So sometimes an embassy might have a very small budget for single people and a very large budget for families. So you also need to look at the size of the property you're buying and relative to the target market. If you're targeting families, you also want to be aware of whether there's parks nearby, noise issues, lifts, because even second floor can be difficult with strollers and all that stuff. So if you're buying 300 meters on the third floor with no lift, you're not targeting the right person for that property. So make sure that you have an idea of who the person is moving before you buy the place and what the range of the budgets are. Secondly, you want to really focus on the track record of the people that you're using, whether it's contractors, realtors, designers, etc. Unlike in other countries, in Western countries where you might have licenses for all these things, in Ukraine in general, people do all this work without licenses. So their track record is doubly important as in the West. Also, you have this really can-do attitude among Ukrainians. If you ask them if they can do it, they will almost always tell you yes. For example, a contractor might have limited experience and only in new construction, and you ask them, can they do your very large apartment in an old building? And they're not going to tell you no. They're going to say, yes, I can do it, and figure it out on the way. So you really want to dig into the specific properties they've done to see if it matches up with what you've acquired. Same with realtors. If there's the salespeople and they're telling you what the rents are, you need to ask them how they know what the rents are. Have they done rentals before? How long did they do rentals? Did they do rentals in that same area? Because again, you have the case where they say, oh, I'm a realtor. You can rent it for this much for sure after. You buy it, you renovate it. Guess what? The rents are different because you listen to someone who, let's say, overstated their qualifications. Another big point in Kyiv, it's a very small city. It's maybe almost like a large village. Is that it's super important here to develop and maintain relationships. That's always important everywhere and in every business. But if you're doing residential properties in the center of Kyiv, for example, which is what we do, it's a very, very, very small world. The brokers know each other. The embassies will talk among each other. Even within the embassies, they'll talk about different things. So a lot of information gets around. So if you have a bad reputation with one embassy, you might think that the next embassy won't know about you, but they might actually find out that maybe you managed the place improperly because you tried to do it yourself, or you tried to have your cleaning lady do it instead of hiring a manager. Also, with the broker community among the expats, there's several agencies that work with the brokers. They all work together mostly, but you want to have a good relationship with all of them, because if one starts bad-mouthing you, then you might have trouble getting traction or getting other agents who are working in the same niche to pay attention. So again, you really want to respect the people, be selective when you're selecting the people you're working with, and then once you've established relationships, you really want to maintain them. Things can go wrong, but if you start burning bridges, you'll find out there's not that many bridges in the center of Kyiv. So to summarize the top 3 tips, number 1, know who the client is before you buy the property. Number 2, check the track record of people you will be working with. And number 3, develop and maintain relationships. I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other videos here and on Facebook, and keep following us for more information about the Kyiv real estate market. Thank you.